Welcome back to Variologies. I'm Dan Calcagno. Today we're going to talk about the God of the gaps. There will always be gaps in our knowledge, and often theists or believers will try to attribute to God those areas of our knowledge that we simply don't have any good explanations or answers. So in other words, there is a gap in our knowledge and we insert God into that gap as an explanation for that which we don't understand. So think about this. This is certainly what our ancestors did. This is certainly what people in ancient times did. Think about people thousands of years ago witnessing thunderstorms. They would obviously attribute the thunder and lightning to the gods because they had no explanation. They had no way to scientifically or rationally explain what was happening. Or we recently had a solar eclipse, and I'm sure people in ancient days attributed a solar eclipse to a god or the activity of the gods. Or even in modern times, think about the complexity of DNA and how many people will theorize there must be a creator, an intelligent designer behind us, behind DNA. There must be some sort of intelligent design responsible for DNA. It's just simply too complex. There's a limit to our knowledge when it comes to where DNA came from, or even just the creation of the whole universe. Yes, we have the Big Bang Theory, but scientists are not certain what happened before the Big Bang, or even if that's a rational question to ask. We don't know, so theists would often point to an intelligent designer, to God, as being the reason for why the universe exists. Or what about our consciousness? We don't have a great explanation of how consciousness came from non-consciousness. How did we suddenly gain consciousness? What exactly is consciousness? These are limits to our knowledge. And again, theists and believers will attribute those things, the things for which we don't have a great explanation, to God. And so that is called the God of the gaps. There's a gap in our knowledge, and God is inserted to explain that gap in our knowledge. So what should we make of this criticism? For those things for which we don't have an explanation, they're beyond our knowledge. We don't have a rational explanation for them. Is it fair to simply attribute those things to God? Again, skeptics and atheists will accuse believers of using this approach, but I think it's actually something we need to embrace. I think we need to own up to it. I think it's perfectly fair to say there are limits to our knowledge, and God is the way human beings have always explained those things which are beyond our knowledge. And that it is the duty of Christians and of believers to simply continue to learn and to fill in the blanks and fill in those gaps as we learn more about the universe and about our existence. Wonderfully, since there will always be limits to our knowledge, we can always appeal to God, appeal to the Creator, appeal to that which is beyond us. That is what God is. Is that not true? God is that which is beyond us. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about God. We're talking about that which is beyond us. And so I think it's fair that we do rely upon the God of the gaps, but that's who God is. God is the one that fills in the gaps, both in our knowledge and also inwardly in terms of the fulfillment that we need, the purpose that we need, the sense of morality that we're looking for. So God of the gaps? Yeah, I'm okay with that. It just means that there will always be something beyond us. And that's a reminder that we need to keep reaching out, keep learning, keep growing, keep looking above, and keep looking to Him. Scripture says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, nor are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." Such a wonderful, poetic way of describing how God is above and beyond us. If this sort of thing is of interest to you, check out the first episode of Season 3 of the Variologies podcast, in which me and Matthew discuss this sort of topic of who is God, what role does God play in our lives. You can find that at variologies.com and click on the podcast link, or on any of your favorite podcast providers like Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Thanks for watching. Support me on Patreon, patreon.com/variologies. Follow me on X at Dan Calcagno. Like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already, and visit variologies.com. Thanks for watching. God bless.